Okay, we will just RCS to the floor and hit the wrong button. Have a little bit of a tumble, and fittingly, Jeb decided to not touch the Munar's surface foot first, but instead face first. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. Finally, back here with me, Spacefish, in our beautiful, beautiful Kerbal Space Center. But Kerbin, today, most definitely, is not going to be the focus of our activities. Because in the last episode, if you'll remember, we finally ended up landing our Munar Magic Mark III out here on the moon with two very healthy and happy Kerbal nauts inside that are anxiously awaiting their first ever steps on the moon. And, well, what a crazy landing it has been, honestly. I think we had 3 failed attempts of actually touching down, because, well, it transpired that this build overall is really not too ideal for landing on the moon. You know, it is very long for a lander, I would say. It's kind of a bit top-heavy due to that, and, well, the legs don't reach all that far out, so I had a fair few issues with this thing just toppling over on surfaces that overall really did not seem all too steep to me. So I'm not sure if it was just my bad lander design, or if it really was just me not choosing the best landing spots. And, well, I mean, you can see all the terrain around here is actually indeed rather steep. But on, like, the 3rd or 4th attempt, we finally then made it, and, well, we're kind of a bit low on oxidizer and liquid fuel at this point, so we'll have to see how well that one turns out to be. Now, it says down here that we've got 1300 meters a second of delta V remaining in our stage, but I'm pretty sure this thing got stuck last time around, and I'm not sure what value it got stuck on, but I'm not really trusting this gauge at all anymore, and even 1300 meters a second could honestly be rather low, even if I go for atmospheric braking, so we will have to see if we even manage to bring Jeb and Bill back eventually, and if they don't end up being stranded in the middle of nowhere, and we'll have to bring a rescue team to their location. So hopefully not huge doom here on our Munar mission. Now, is this actually lamps? Do we have lights on this thing? I'm really interested. Look at all the things we're seeing when clicking at this command pot. Holy moly, that's so much more than I'm used to. As you can see, seems we have lights, which is actually kind of nice, I think, to locate the entry to the capsule again. It doesn't seem to be actually consuming much of any energy, as we still have these solar panels going out here that actually regain energy for us, so I think that is pretty fine for the time being. Now, we've got Jeb, we've got Bill, both have actually got an inventory and a weight of their own, so I guess that's kind of how limited they are and what they can carry, and that's their jetpack and that's their parachute. And then we've got an inventory of the pod itself. There's so many things, which is honestly quite crazy. But I think that, honestly, it is probably about time to get some experiments going first, and then make our first ever steps on the Munar surface. Now, the one thing that is still utterly useless, though, is our Science Junior. And, well, you know, I was looking to bring Bob along, but Bill snuck on the rocket instead, and now we've got an engineer instead of a scientist, so I can't reset the thing, and I used it in space thinking that I had a scientist on board, and now we can't actually gather any data out of our Science Junior, so that's a huge waste. A huge waste of science, unfortunately. So, not happy about that, but we've got a few more things that we will actually take care of here. So we've got the temperature that we will go and log and keep, and we have got the barometer, which we will go and log and actually read the thing, you know, and then keep after. So atmospheric pressure scan from the moon's east far side crater. The pressure gauge here is sitting there motionless. Perhaps you should tap it a few times to be sure, yeah. Of course, no atmospheric pressure here on the moon. I want to actually review this. So we've got temperature scan from the moon's east far side crater. Collect and record time. Okay, so it doesn't really tell us how warm or cold it is on the moon, but that is fine. And then we've got the mystery goo, of course, which we will certainly observe. The interesting part here being, and the goo seems to be less dense here, observation from the moon's east far side crater. That kind of sounds like I can actually land on multiple places on the moon and gather science from all of these locations? So like if I go to a different spot, I can gather more science, which would mean that rovers make so much more sense than they ever did. That's honestly kind of cool. I think we could honestly gather so much science that way, potentially. I like the idea. Well, and that we will now all have to store up there in the container. I think gravity should be low enough, honestly, to just do it with the jetpacks. But I do want to first take care of other things. Now that we've logged all the research data, and given that, honestly, Bill's just snuck onto this rocket and was never supposed to be here, looking all innocent and happy about being here, though, I think Jeb... And he was always going to be the person. Jeb is naturally going to be the Kerbal Nord. That is going to be the first Kerbal ever to set his feet down on the Munar surface. So, let's go. Let's EVA on Jeb. SAS is disengaged. I would like to find out how I can get my RCS turned on. Oh boy. I feel if I... F climb out. Space, let's go. What is F? Oh! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Please. Jetpack? Jetpack? No! Jetpack! Or... Yeah, you can also jump, Jeb, but... that doesn't help. Can we turn the jetpack on? What was the button? Okay, it is R for RCS. Okay, we will just RCS to the floor and hit the wrong button. Have a little bit of a tumble. And, fittingly... Jeb decided to not touch the Munar's surface foot first, but instead face first. Nice little face plant there into the Munar's surface with a flippin' parachute actually still on. Oh, look at that! He even has the Spacefish flag on the side of his jetpack. I never had an idea that I could zoom in this far. That is so cool. Let's get up, Jeb, shall we? Alright, you can get that backpack folded, the jetpack folded back in, and here's Jeb! On the Munar surface. Wait, we gotta... This is gonna be so the screenshot for my Instagram post for this episode. Look at that! Jeb on the Munar surface. Maybe it's gonna be a different one, though. And the different one, as Jeb is spacewalking here, maybe the planted flag on the Munar surface for the first ever time we have made it. And, well, we will call the site name Munar Ground Zero. And the plaque text will be, this is the site, the Kerbal's first set face to moon. Beautiful. Gotta get a bit of trolling in there, right? But look at this. Jeb here next to the Spacefish flag. I guess that may be the thing after all. Or, do you know what could even more be the picture we're going to end up with? Did I not just... What? I just got some window. Now I don't. Okay, do you guys know what could even more be the picture that we're going to end up with, though? If I shall be allowed to switch vehicles, that is. I think I gotta go to the tracking station for this, to be honest. I think you all know what the plan is, don't you? We're gonna get Bill out, finally, as well. I think he very much deserves it. And we're gonna set him up right next to the flag. We're gonna have a beautiful group picture of our two Kerbal Knots. So, Bill, hey buddy, how are you doing? Oh boy, you're not all too happy just clinging on for dear life right there, or are you? No, he's pretty darn happy. He's gonna be his second Kerbal ever then to set foot or face, we'll see, to moon. But, well, kind of left Bob behind, you meanie. But okay, so, we will get the RCS on and, whoa, have a little bit of bounciness going on. What I actually want to quickly kind of do with him if EVA propellant permits us to do so. I want to go and... Ooh, come on, step onto that battery for me. Perfect, thank you. We will collect that data, and we will store the experiments, and we will collect that data and store that. That's perfect. That battery is perfect right there. We will take the thermometer data, and we will store the experiments. And all the experiments are now nicely stored up there in that capsule. We can, of course, not reset anything, because, well, friggin' Bill, but, well, I mean, theoretically, you know, the barometer and the thermometer we can use again, but we are probably not going to do that, because we've kind of collected all the data, at least for this landing site, that we ever wanted anyways. But let me go and actually set down, this time around, planting foot to moon first, you know. Can't always just face plant it, can you? And then we're going to swap to him. Oh, wait. Just deploy his chute. Do not raise the visor. I don't know what actually happens when you raise the visor on a Kerbal while in space. Does he just die? Because, I mean, in theory, without any mods, there is no such thing as, like, oxygen. Right? I'm unsure, but we will go back to the tracking station. I guess we'll have to swap things this way, and then we can finally take our nice little... We're going to fly, Jeb. Then we can finally take a nice little grid picture. I absolutely love this game, though. This is so enjoyable, just doing these little things, you know. Oh, it's so good. The rocket just jumped. That was kind of scary. I hope that's not going to happen to me again, because I do not really want to see that. But with that said, and the Spacefish flag here in the foreground, and Bill and Jeb and Bob and everyone, no Bob, but Bill and Jeb being around, that is then going to be our Instagram screenshot. Beautiful. Both of them now out here on the moon. We'll just get that nav ball on just in case, and I think we will see if we can get some surface samples from it. Oh, yep, we can indeed. Let's do that. Does he do something? No. Okay, it just pops up, unfortunately. But surface sample, then, from the moon's east far side crater. This crater seems to have been a really nasty impact, and the samples are heavier than normal. So for that, you definitely get multiple units of science, and that's 120 science. Just imagine if we drive across the moon with a rover for like an episode or two, take like multiple surface samples and get research data and stuff, we could make so much science. Like, so much science in one go. We would need to pre-stage the rover and stuff, but like, this is very valuable, I think, honestly. Now I guess what we can do is we can get his RCS back on and just actually hit the right buttons. Get himself up there and just, whoopsie. Beautiful. Store the experiment. And that's that. Now the question kind of being here, right? What happens if we just go and fly Jeb around a bit? I mean, the thing is, I don't really have that much EVA propellant, right? So we will kind of have to mine this a bit. But we could go for a few meters and just check how far away we technically need to go. Jeb is enjoying the heck out of this at the very least. I'm kind of terrified seeing this mountain approach, not gonna lie. But I think as long as we don't go below like 3 EVA propellant, I'm pretty happy to keep going. As we're not losing any speed, because we're in vacuum, we should just be able to kind of coast away. We just need to kind of monitor where the actual rocket is at. I think we're just going to try and go on top of this crater and see if we can get another surface sample for some more science. That would be sick. Oh boy, I think the crater goes on till up there. Our target? I don't want to see target. I don't want to see orbit. I want to see surface. The thing is, I'm losing sight of the rocket, which I do not really like. I think we're going to stop here. Honestly. We're just going to stop here. And see if we can get some more science data. I think this is good enough, especially since when we land it, we'll be at 3. 3 fuel units about, so I think that's about good. And ooh, that's a faceplant. Kind of assumed that was gonna happen, but he's still enjoying the heck out of that, so that's great. Now this is also okay. So we will have to actually go quite quite the ways away in order to actually get some more surface samples. But let's start heading back then. I assume that for the way back... Can I get rid of this? Hello? Ah, okay. I assume that for the way back we're going to need less fuel, because technically we don't need to gain altitude, we can just lose altitude instead. Now the thing is, I'll have to find my rocket again. Am I going the right way? I kind of worried I'm not, but I'm kind of thinking I'm down there somewhere. I went too far away, I don't even see the darn thing anymore, oh boy. Might just get jet stranded and have to walk them all the way back if I keep going like this. Please no. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Please just pray for me, guys, that we're going the right way. Because if we're not, I may as well be in for half an hour of a walk here or something. Like, I mean, it's cool, it's crazy, and it's awesome just flying over the Munar surface here, you know. He's enjoying the heck out of it, and it's absolutely beautiful, but I would like to get home someday. I think that's the rocket, though. Oh god, wait! Please don't crash into the ground at 60 meters a second! Oh boy! Oh, we barely avoided that. The jetpack is a lot weaker sometimes than I think it is. Holy moly, that was friggin' close. Okay, we're approaching the rocket again, which is beautiful. We're at 1.31 EVA fuel, so I think I'm just going to get him right into the rocket. Because honestly, if we run out of fuel, we won't even get him back into the rocket here. That's something I totally may have disregarded. So let's slow him down to a point where he's not going to faceplant into the rocket head first again. And then we're going to try and get him back in. It seems that Jeb is very much the kind of guy that likes to just faceplant into everything he's going towards. Ah, but there we go. 0.73 units of EVA propellant left. And he's back in the rocket. That was a bit close for comfort, not gonna lie. But that's great. We've got all the surface samples we ever wanted. We've got all the research data we ever wanted. We should, in theory, have all these contracts here complete as well that we were looking to get done. Explore the moon, plant a flag on the moon, return to Kerbin from the surface of the moon. Maybe not quite done on that part yet. I hope that's gonna work out for us. That could be going very, very badly for us. Good thing being that we're leaving the flag behind, so we'll have an idea where we landed previously. So if and when we return to the moon, we can choose a different landing location to definitely make sure that we hopefully get some more research data from that landing. Transmit or recover scientific... Okay, so this one... Well... If need be, we could just transfer things, but hopefully we will return safely. Anyways, what we could do we have an antenna that even reaches home? I mean, in theory, you know, we don't need to reset the barometers and stuff. We have this data in here, so if we physically recover it, we're going to get the on-top data from it, and we should be able to just log that and transmit it. And the on-top 24 we should get when we bring the rest of the experiment home. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. We don't have an antenna on this thing. How did I forget about an antenna? I mean, I guess I was planning to bring back the research all along and hopefully not explode with it. Fingers crossed, but, well, you know, that is now a bit... that is now a bit of an issue. We just have to bring this back somehow, or at least get in range to transmit things or something. That was the right move to make, though. Let me go to the tracking station. I think we are then going to go and actually get Bill back into the rocket as well. And, well, then with the remainder of the episode, we're probably going to at least go for a bit of a takeoff from the moon. Now, I don't know. I'm really worried about our total Delta V figures and stuff. Like, God, the rocket. Did you see that? It jumped again. That is abso-freaking-lutely scary. Something just happened to my frame rate as well, I think? Unless I'm just seeing things? Are you guys all fine in your recording down there? I hope you are. I hope there's not much of any major lag. OBS still tells me we're sitting comfortable at 60 FPS, but to me this feels a bit itchy. Maybe it's just... No, this is definitely not all too fluid. I don't know what just happened to the game, but... Whatever I just did, I didn't like it. I hope that just re-entering the rocket will somehow fix things for me a bit. So let's board this. And that does feel better, I think. So, with that said then, I think we are first and foremost going to do a quick save here. I don't know the button for quick load, which is an issue, but we can theoretically just do that, I guess. Yeah, we have our quick saves in here, so we've got, I think quick save 15 was the one we're on, right? Day 1, no, day 51, year 1. I guess? How do I tell? I'm not quite sure. I think it told me that. But let's go to... Can I just go to Tracking Center and check what day we have? Yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. So, with that said then, with the quick save made, we'll have a first little bit of an attempt of actually taking off from the lunar surface. I think we are honestly... Well, I'm going to have to actually see on the map which direction I have to take off in, which is going to be the harder part, I think. Ideally, I would take off in a way that I instantly get a good trajectory over, like... over the moon, so I would be orbiting like this or something, and I can just instantly get myself over towards Kerbin without any adjustments needed, but I'm not quite sure. I guess I would be going off towards the east? So here? I think that's the plan. Just go off towards the east and then hope for the best. Now, we're not going to get a... What kind of orbit are we even going to get at that point? Hopefully a somewhat alright one. I think we're just going to go straight to the east and hope that that works out for us. Now, we don't have any RCS on this thing, as far as I'm aware. We do indeed not. But, well, with that said, with the flag still standing here and the last seconds on moon dawning, let's launch back up in 3, 2, 1. Farewell, dear moon. And we will stage, because we do not want that extra weight. Still tells me that we are in theory at a weight, no, not at a weight, but at a meters a second thing of 1,000, which would be pretty good, to be fair, I hope. Maybe not. I think this is never going to be enough. Rocket parts just exploding down below, which is absolutely fine. We're at 742 meters a second. Oh, this is going to be very, very, very tight indeed. We've got a maneuver here, then in 3... No, not that. In 3 minutes, that will have to be enough to get us a lunar orbit. With that, honestly, being good enough. That is 187 meters a second used for that. Then we will have... like 500 meters a second left over. It may be enough to just barely make it into Kerbin's atmosphere, but I'm really not sure about this. I think we may be getting these guys stuck in orbit and have to actually get a rescue mission out there. Now, I'm kind of confident that I honestly probably wasted a tad bit of Delta V by actually gaining some altitude over the moon. So I think, in theory, we could try a more efficient approach if this one doesn't work out by just maybe getting a max of like 10k meters of clearance to the moon or something. But we will see. We will find out. We'll keep going like this for the time being and just hope that it's good enough. I'm really not confident it is, but we'll find out. We will find out. A node is in 1 minute only? Seems like we're pretty close to, yeah, 1 minute. Okay, so let's keep going further and further away from the moon. Farewell, old friend. I hope that the flag didn't explode when the rest of the rocket fell on top of it, but I needed to separate that as early as possible to make sure that we are good in terms of weight. And there we go for an orbit. Okay, that leaves us with 561 meters a second and a periapsis of 14k, which is low, but good enough. Now we need to actually go and plan the next maneuver, and I'm like, I don't think we're going to make it back to Kerbin at all. Now, the thing is, we need to basically deorbit, right? Now that question being, yeah, I have to do it on the other side, so here basically. So we would go here, and we would go and deorbit. Well, actually, wait. We go and... Which way around does the moon go? Oh, right, if I go and deorbit this... Okay. We're at 232. Okay, we gotta firstly optimize the location where we start. And doing that, you can see, gets us actually pretty darn close to Kerbin already. That's 1.2 million meters. And if we continue that further a bit... Oh, I think that's good enough. I think we can actually still make it. Holy moly. Can we move that to make it even closer? No, that's 842. That is 618. That's 76. Okay, the other point was pretty optimal. 561. Okay, I don't think we're really going to get it below like 561. Oh, please. Please. No! Ah. Stop being that sensitive. 567. 613. I'm just trying to find the optimal spot. Because if we can save a tad bit of delta V just by optimizing the spot at which we burn, that's going to be glorious. Look at that. 2,000 meters closer. I think that's about it, though. Yep. Okay, so that's 5.9 something. That is actually an encounter, which we don't want. That's 7.6. That's 68k. I think we want to aim for like 50-ish k. That's 30, which may be a bit steep of a re-entry. That's 54. 53. It's going to be very... Okay, 44k. 278 meters a second, which is less than we have in the rocket. It's only half of what we have left. So despite 3 missed landing attempts, I think we can still very much make it home with Jeb and Bill. So very, very hopeful right there. I do not see a flag down there anymore, so we could have very much exploded our very first flag we ever planted on the moon's surface. Still counts though, so that's hopefully good enough. But with that said then, I think I'm going to have to end it off right here with the time that's left in this episode, unfortunately. So next time then, we will burn those 278.6 meters a second and hopefully make it back into Kerbin atmosphere and have the Kerbal atmosphere slow us down enough to a point where our Kerbal nauts can make it home safely. It is nonetheless going to be quite the stretch, so let's hope that all goes well and we make it back home safely with the Kerbal nauts and with the research. We'll find out about that in the next episode. For today, I'm going to end it off right here, so as usual, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet also, please consider hitting that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, everyone, as usual, thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.